It's time for the Moto2 Grand Prix of Aragon, and this is going to be absolutely chaotic. Moto3 just had a race where it was side by side at the line. What are we going to see for this one? Let's turn our attention down to the commentary team.
14th, they've got a lot of work to do and having to develop the bike as well. It's going to be a race of attrition, perhaps, with the situation with the tyres here, the track temperature of 43 degrees. But we had the most sensational opening race in Moto3. And the scene is set for Moto2 to be a big showstopper as well. Let's head over to commentary then. Your man in pole position, don't forget Diogo Moreira. Michael Laverty is alongside Gavin Emmett. Can't wait for this one, chaps.
It is an intriguing Moto2 race we've got ahead of us. You've got three riders on the front row, including this man, Diogo Moreira, who love it sideways. They're going to have to look after their tyres. And Manuel Gonzalez, championship leaders, coming from the 6th row. It's all to play for.
Welcome to Moto2 and the Aragon Grand Prix. A critical weekend is ahead of us. Here is how they line up on the starting grid. Diego Monrella alongside Barry Baltus and Dennis Onshu have the front row of the grid. Then we have Aaron Canet, Daniel Hologado, David Alonso, Philip Salak, Zonta van der Gerberg, and then Joe Roberts. Alonso Lopez, Tony Albarino and Albert Arenas, Senna Igus, Jake Dixon, Marcos Ramirez, Isaac Guevara alongside Daniel Munoz, Manuel Gonzalez, Justina Vietti, Ivan Otola, Mulsazaki, Alice Escray, Sergio Garcia, Adrian Huetas, Yuki Kuni, Darren Binder, Nakarthin, Atapuvaspat alongside Jorge Navarro in last position as well. Warm-up laps underway, and this is going to be an interesting one. Hello everybody, welcome to the commentary box. We're all set then for Moto2, and I'm having to sit down for this one because actually this one's been done on the map book and it's not a green screen. Look, I'll prove it to you. Look, there you go, look. This time the map book is actually being used as the streaming PC while the streaming PC does the touring cars. I'm going to be here for half of the race and then we'll hand down to TNT Sports to cover the end of it because I have to go over and take the coverage of Thruxton. So, thumbs up, thumbs down. At least I get to do a Moto2 race. I haven't been here since round 3. I haven't since America. I didn't do Qatar, didn't do Spain, didn't do France, didn't do Silverstone. I've missed 4 races. At least now I don't miss one. But let's check in with our commentary team and see what things are like.
You want to manage tyre consumption. It's not easy to make passes. You've got to use tyre. You've got to squirt it off the turn to get the run. And it's going to be hard for Manuel to do both, to get through the field and conserve a little bit of rubber for the battle over the last few laps. But on current form, you've got to say Manuel's the man who could do it.
And there are some fast riders ahead of him. That's the thing. Your Jake Dixons, your Alonso Lopez and Tony Arbolinos. You know, as you go through, there are some fast riders. And you get offline here, and you usually have to, if you're going to try and overtake, that's going to compromise you as well. Yeah, you get offline and it's easy to lock the front, to have a crash. It also wears the tyres a little bit more because the asphalt itself is a little dirtier, so it's not going to be easy. And let's not forget the clash he had with Barry Baltus in Silverstone. When you're in the middle of the pack, these things happen. Yeah, he's comfortable when he's out front. Manuel Gonzalez likes to run his own pace. He's not going to be able to do that today, so he's got to fight, got to scrap, and yeah, that's it's a different way. Passing the likes of a Barry Baltus didn't prove easy for him at Silverstone and ended up being his demise. Everyone's going for the same rear tyre development, soft rear, but there are a mix in the front tyres, which could be interesting because that also will be affected.
Yeah, down towards the first corner. I keep going to press button 2, forgetting because I'm not used to being in this commentary box on a different commentary setup, so I keep going to press number 2, but that is a different one. So I'm just going to put the knob lock on to stop me pressing it accidentally. If anyone's watching the touring cars, I apologise for what you could see, but hey, it's that type of situation. Here we go then, all set for the Moto2 Grand Prix of Aragon. Red lights will come up, the revs will be rising. Let's hope for a good start. Eyes to the lights. 5 on. Throttle back, we're racing. Poor start from Diego Monrella. Picks it up though, because it was equally bad. Can coming from Aaron Canet. Dennis Onchu will come into second position in towards turn number 1. They all get through cleanly. I'm looking for Jake Dixon, the championship leader. Where's he down on the run? He's down still in 15th place. It's a terrible start from him though, as they come up into the first time. Monrella leading the way. Onchu trying to come back into second position as well, as Gonzalez drops down the timing order as well, as they all try and fumble into turn 4 and 5 together. So far, so good, but 9 times out of 10, you know how much of a situation it can be as Manuela tries to cut back around the outside. Still calming down. Onchu keeping positions as well. Who's your biggest winner? Salak up there as Onchu dives on the inside. Onchu's going for the lead. 3-1 doesn't go. Onchu leads. Baltus to second. Diego Manuela taking third position then as they continue on. Now the exit. Diving through on the inside. Oh, that's unbelievable for Philip Salak, but takes Aaron Canet away. Canet both run very wide actually at the back stretch, still trying to find positions together as they come down into the braking zone. Alonso going on the inside line, contact! Big accident! And that is ridiculous news, because out of the race has gone David Alonso and Daniel Hologado. The two Aspar teammates come together with Alonso dropping the front and losing it. Out goes Hologado, out goes Alonso. Huge at the standings of this race. Canet leads the championship as it stands. Dixon down to 5th place in the standings on 84 points. Canet 121, Gonzalez 112 as things stand. Well, what a dramatic start for that to come into it. Let's check in with TNT as the opening lap completes. No sign of a red flag though.
Breathing room for Onchu, Baltus and Moreira at this stage.
Across the line, Manuel Gonzalez crosses in 15th place, just trying to pick him out in the group as Philip Salach has been aggressive.
Let's have a take a look at it again.
Here we go, this was the move. Look at Holgado at the back on the 27. He's going too tight, he
and
knows,
bang, it's
and he's trying to squeeze it to fit. I think he thought if I pick it up, I am going to clear out even more people.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
It was one where the only safe option was to completely let off the brakes and go straight on through, but then you've got 3 or 4 riders in front. There was Canet, and it was a tricky one for Danny Holgado. They will look at it. I don't think there's too much to decide. It's one of those corners. You've got
after
the crest, you've got the slipstream of the bikes in front. It took Holgado in a position he didn't want to be in, to be honest.
It'll be reviewed after this race then.
So, Barry Baltus now at the front of the race with Onchu in second place, Moreira in third, Canet is fourth, Salach has a good start. Alonso Lopez, he progressed, didn't he, throughout the weekend, made a couple of changes here and there on his setting, and it seems to have worked for Lopez.
He always has been fast around Aragon, and this weekend it's been tough for him in the Moscoscuro chassis. The speed up team definitely made some changes that went the right direction yesterday, and now he's not far off here in 5th in this race, and I think he can go with this lead group.
This was where Baltus took the lead. Look at that, riding around the inside, getting on the gas early and then squeezing through. That's an excellent move, and isn't it from Baltus? He is creative.
Yeah, it uses a little more tyre to turn up the hill as he did, but at this stage of the race, he's not too concerned about the right-hand side of his tyre, so he might as well use it up the hill to make the overtake happen.
Gonzalez has got through on Dixon, just trying to pick him out. There he is, just ahead of the Brit on the racetrack as he tips it down into turn 16. His teammate Senna Aegis has made a good start from 13th on the grid.
Yeah.
Senna is up into 7th place.
But Barry Baltus has the lead of this race as things stand. 150.838. Onchu second, Monrella in third, Garcia dropping positions. Boy Navarro up 8 places thanks to this little melee from everybody. So, you know, come see, come sight. It's taking a good start. It's doing the right thing. Canet leads Gonzalez just by 8 points now in the championship as things stand. Where Baltus actually moves in 23. So Barry Baltus leading this race. Exactly how much of Moto2 have I missed this season? Binder has completed his long lap penalty. As Salak holds off for 6th place as well, with Senna Aegis just behind him. Joe Roberts gets back ahead of Tony Alberino on the inside. Nice move as the 44 Cadet makes the move back on Diego Monrella for 3rd place. Was not going to let that one stick down into the chicane. So good start in this Moto2 Aragon Grand Prix as we currently have it. Baltus leads Onchu Canet. Diego Monrella also coming in on the mix as well. Alberino gets ahead of Joe Roberts. Senna Aegis up 6 places. Sean says up 6 places for him now. Up 5 matches up as Zont's got through. Joe Roberts passing Alberino. There's a battle going on for 9th and 10th position. Lopez gained 5 as well. On that, you can see the full time between. Now that we've moved to browser source, by the way, it makes it so much more easier to get this situation running. Non-stop today between Moto3, Moto2, then it's British Touring Cars opening race, then it's back to MotoGP. Yin and yang throughout the entirety of today, but that's the way we go for racing. It's an exciting one. Albarino in 9th, Robertson 10th, closing in. Reminder, there's no podium for the Moto2, we'll go straight off air. Side by side on the inside line, Diego Morella making the move on Aaron Canet. Alonso has been taken to the medical centre for a checkup. That's understandable, unfortunately, due to what we know. It was a silent impact. I'm worried about his right leg, because that got a horrible whack into the side of it. Albert Arenas moving up a couple of places. Just for information, I'll be leaving in 6 minutes' time, and I'll be handing over to the TNT team for the action. So we're sort of half and halving it today for Moto2 and commentary. Megan joins me from MotoGP later on. Boltis, Onchu, Canet, Monrella, Lopez, Salak, Zonta, Van der Gerberg in P7, Senna Igas in P8, still closing in. More and more time needs to be found. More grips need to be gathered together as well, to be fair. But that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. Everybody gets worried and alarmed about the same style of things. That 4 of 19, and so far, so good.
In Moreira, you can just see Alonso Lopez here on the number 21 in 5th place is just over a second now. They're the 2 lead Boscoscuro riders. There is a test coming up soon in Barcelona, which will be crucial for Boscoscuro men. I believe Salach isn't doing it, so Jake Dixon was telling me he's going to have Salach's bike to be able to run back-to-back tests, which will be key, actually. It's really hard when you have only got one bike at your disposal. Yeah,
that's invaluable, actually, to be able to back-to-back changes without losing 40 minutes or whatever to do a head angle or offset change. So, yeah, that'll be good for him to really get, as he said on the grid, he's working on completely different bike setups, just trying to evolve the package to make it work at the moment, whilst all the Boscoscuro riders seem a little at sea.
You talked about Aaron Canet, how you thought he'd be coming back here. Fastest lap of the race, a 1:50.6. That smashes the race lap record, which stood in the name of Sam Lowes, who was seriously impressive around Aragon in his day by 1.1 seconds quicker.
Impressive. Obviously, Sam would have done it on Dunlop tyres back in the day, but Sam was quality around here in Moto2. Remember the COVID years? So fast.
The Dunlops.
Shame to see that lap record disappear.
Canet's trying on Onchu.
That's what he did it on Moreira, wasn't it? He's very strong on entry here. Aaron Canet has got the harder option tyre, the medium front, whereas the other's gone with the softer front. That will give him that little bit extra, won't it? Stability, a bit more braking prowess back going into the corners.
He's on the softer of the front?
No, he's on the medium.
On the medium, okay. Yeah, usually it is a bit more braking performance. A lot comes down to rider preference and how they set their bike up, how much weight distribution, how much load they've got in the front tyre. But yeah, usually you sacrifice a little bit of turning, but from the pictures I would have just said Canet had a softer front on because of the way he's turning the bike through the long corner. So yeah, these Pirelli fronts working for all riding styles at the moment.
Barry Baltus leads the Aragon Grand Prix. Dennis Onchu is in second. You're looking at Manuel Gonzalez in 12th place, left-hand side of your screens. Gonzalez is 4.6 seconds behind Baltus and Onchu as they come to the line. Has Baltus just let him pass there? No. Just had a look, didn't he, Onchu? We're seeing that story again, aren't we? And Onchu's not small, but Baltus, just like Senna Aegis back in Silverstone, struggling in faster parts of the circuit.
Yeah, provides a good slipstream for the riders behind Barry Baltus. It's difficult for him getting his frame behind the Ferrand. Oh, this is a good one.
Aaron Canet's got to run wide, hasn't he? But he will have the inside line then.
Yeah, he holds him off well. He was a fraction wide, but not enough to open the door for Onchu to cut it back.
Nice moves throughout the entire field going on so far. Barry Baltus leads the way from Aaron Canet, Dennis Onchu, Diego Monrella, Alonso Lopez, Philip Salak, Senna Igas, Zonta van der Gerberg, then we get Joe Roberts, Marcos Ramirez, rounds out your top 10. It is a stunning, stunning situation we're having right now, and it really is getting to the, I don't want to say bad points, but getting to the good bits right now as well. Okay, I'm going to leave the commentary, and I'm going to hand over the reins to our TNT commentary team.
Barry Baltus has made such a step up this year. I've got to say, full credit to Roberto Locatelli and the Fantic Racing team. He's a different rider. He's a man who can challenge for podiums at any given racetrack this season. It's great to see.
Yeah, and actually, one thing we always said about Barry is he burns up tyres. Actually, in recent times, he's proved this year with back-to-back podiums in Jerez and Le Mans, he can manage things too.
Yeah, the DNF at Silverstone on a 12th position in Argentina are actually anomalies really this season, because he's consistently a top 6 finisher and becoming a podium regular.
Career transformed, isn't it? Picked up by Fantic, looked like he was out of a ride end of last year, and then suddenly rescued by Fantic, and here we go, look where he is. 4th in the championship and leading the Aragon Grand Prix from his vastly more experienced teammate Aaron Canet, who, as it stands, is leading the World Championship. Manuel Gonzalez has got through now on Tony Arbolino.
Setting his best lap of the race so far, Manu Gonzalez for the 51.1. Aaron Canet was 51.0. But the other lead pack were 51.3 with Baltus. So yeah, there's a long way to go in this race, but Gonzalez 4.7 back. There's some work to do with 13 laps remaining.
Yeah, it just depends how, if there is a drop, the front tyre in particular will be one to keep an eye on. Senna Aegis did a lap in a 1:50, so he did a 50.8, as did Joe Roberts. So, you know, when the leaders are in the 51.3, there are some disparities. Darren Binder has stopped with a technical issue, well, being told, so not been a happy return to action this weekend for the South African.
No, he's looked a little out of sorts, perhaps not got the strength he needs in the hand he injured in Le Mans, but his penalty has been exercised today, and he will return him as yellow in 2 weeks' time.
Strong through there, isn't he, Baltus? Did his own bit of supermoto in the past, didn't he?
Yeah, quite a handy supermoto rider he is, and likes it sideways on the brakes here in Moto2. That's where he uses his size to advantage. Look at him on direction change as well, getting it all the way back to the right-hand side of the track to really set up an exit here, which he needs to do because of his size. He knows teammate Canet, much smaller stature, gets behind the bubble better. He's going to have a much higher top speed here, but not close enough to make a pass.
Well, I tell you what, there, Canet lunged, didn't he? He went deep, and actually Onshu followed him in as Gonzalez now comes through on Marcos Ramirez. He actually lunged, did Canet. Randy, Onshu went even deeper, but it really affected them because Baltus just got the corner just right.
Yeah, he was downhill on approach and pulling it back. It is so important to be a little bit patient, get the exit of the turn 15, carry the speed all the way down the straight.
Chase group there, Lopez, Salach and Aja still doing battle. Joe Roberts has made it to the front of that third group. Now got Van der Gerberg and Manuel Gonzalez for company, but there's work to do if Gonzalez wants to win this race. We're on our 8th lap of 19. And you can see Gonzalez was 4/10 quicker on that last lap. 4.3 the gap between the Belgian and the championship leader.
God, it's good to see Joe Roberts setting a lap time faster than the leaders at this stage as he gets to the head of that pack. The chase group is going to, I think it could be Gonzalez and Roberts working together here to get across if possible.
Yeah, Aegis is desperately trying to get through on Salach as well, who's just on his personal best lap. He is the Czech rider, teammate to Jake Dixon, who's currently down in 15th at the back of that group featuring Roberts and Gonzalez. But has been doing some personal best laps in the last couple. Can it again? Gets it deep, gets it turned then.
Yeah, he still turns without having to get it all the way back, but Barry's getting a better exit because of his effort to get it all the way back over to the right-hand side of the track, opening out the turn 15. Ooh,
here comes Onshu, down towards turn 16, got the better run this time. He's going to go deep as Canet then switches the inside again. This heli shot through the last corner, one of the best we get in the World Championship, to see all the different lines. And what happened there is Onchu went deeper, but he gets to drive down towards turn 1, and that's almost like, you know, the whole move was always going to end up there at turn 1.
Exactly. Yeah, it is 2 corners in the final section. Turn 16 is your entry, turn 17 is your exit. Onchu went in deep, compromised it a little bit, lost the place, but then he set up the run towards turn 1, so he gains the spot eventually on Aaron Canet.
He's having a good ride as we look on board with Canet. Left-hand side of your screen, on board with Gonzalez, is Zonta van der Gerber right there. He's having a good one, isn't he, there in 9th place? So the Northern Europeans, Baltas leading, van der Gerber in 9th place.
Yeah, good to see Zonta. He's been quiet off late in terms of his front-running pace, but this is definitely a shot in the arm for him ahead of the Dutch GT, and what, we 3 weeks away from it.
But it shows you, doesn't it, though, what happens if you qualify better in Moto2, and it shows you with Gonzalez right there just how hard it is to do battle.
Yeah, Gonzalez finding it tough to get through on Zonta. As we speak, he makes it happen through the Marc Marquez curve.
Just turn tighter and underneath. That will use that little bit more rubber, won't it, going through there? But he needed to get it done because he was finding it tough going.
Yeah, the thing is, to make that pass, he's had to really be aggressive with the bike to get it to turn tighter, use the throttle to drive, and that always uses rubber. And
it opened the door then to Roberts in front, didn't it? And Roberts then has escaped. Roberts is really pushing on the pace here. It is really encouraging to see, but Gonzalez is now 1.3 behind him.
Yeah, Roberts is trying hard. Salek is fast last time around. These 3 in front. There is a chance these 3, then the lone Roberts, and now it looks like a chase pack with Zonta van der Gerber. Can he hang on to Gonzalez? Work to do for Gonzalez, but he's got it down to 4 seconds.
Yeah, he is quicker than the leaders, but how much management is going on from Baltas? He loves that sweep across, doesn't he? Closes, really finishes off the corner. Now Canet's a little bit wide there down into turn 1.
Yeah, the way Barry Baltas, he drifts out and then comes from the opposite side of the track, it's a good defence strategy as well, but it's how he likes to ride, almost Scandi flicking it from left to right.
So Canet drops to 4th now. Just dropped back, trying to get it turned down for turn 1. On the number 44. We haven't spoken much about the Brazilian, have we, Diogo Moreira? Let's not forget he was on pole. Let's not forget that he was on the podium as well at Silverstone. There's Alonso Lopez bridging that gap. That's down from 1.5 seconds to 1 second now, with Canet having dropped. And this race is starting to form. Joe Roberts is on the back of Senna Aegis. Joe is motoring. Manuel Gonzalez isn't out of it yet. Game on here. Still Baltas leads them. We are at the half race distance. 9.5 laps down, 9.5 to go.
This looks like another good lap from Joe Roberts, getting across to Aegis. It's certainly going to bunch up at the head of the field here, especially with the pace that Baltas is run. It's not allowed any back and forth really with Onchu, so they're still in those low 51s at the moment.
A reminder that the front 3 in this race have never won a Moto2 Grand Prix. Just like we had in Moto3 earlier today. Similar story. Quite sure that'll be the case in MotoGP at the end of the day, with Marc Marquez going from pole position there, looking to make it a 7th win here in Aragon after his sprint victory yesterday. But we shall see. That's coming up. Now we've got 9 laps remaining in the Moto2 Grand Prix, and a slight gap between Denis Onchu in 2nd and Diogo Moreira in 3rd. Barry Baltas, the Belgian, still leads.
Yeah, this is an impressive pace the Belgians imposing at the front. 51.2 again last time around, and you look down, even the chase riders, you've got fastest man on track is Manu Gonzalez, 50.9, but that's trying to make up a gap and having riders in front to slipstream, whereas at the moment Baltas is just lapping comfortably. He looks good, doesn't he?
Alonso Lopez, though, also coming through. He's closed that gap, which stood at 1.5 seconds. There he is on the number 21. Was at 1.5, now at 0.9 between himself and Canet. Gap between he and Baltas 2.2, so maybe that's not quite been the same. What's the gap? Manuel Gonzalez to Baltas, still at 4.1 seconds, running out of time if he wants to get on the box here, Michael.
Yeah, he's not managed to get it under the 4-second range yet. That was the response from Baltas, the ability that he has at the moment to maintain such a good pace.
Be interesting to see when the drop-off is for these tyres. If there is a drop-off, you expect there would be, wouldn't you, on a low-grip Aragon?
Yeah, usually front can be a problem as well. Obviously, we've got the two different options on the track today, with everyone choosing the development SC0 soft rear. And you always get a drop. You lose rubber, performance drops a little bit. It is one of those, part and parcel, especially around Aragon.
Great shot of this long downhill straight down towards turn 16. Still Lopez and Salach sit in 5th and 6th that they had for much of this race, and now Salach turns underneath Lopez. Thank you very much for that. Right on cue. Salach comes through.
It's a good performance from Philip Salach. Solid race throughout.
And that means that Senna Aegis now has Lopez to contend with. How's Lopez's front end feeling?
Has been a problem for Alonso Lopez this year in the latter laps when the tyres drop off.
I thought Aegis was about to have a go. Got to be really decisive, haven't you, with your passes here. Get them in, make them stick. Senna Aegis then tried to switch, didn't he, to the inside, but just found the rear of Alonso Lopez's Speed RS bike in his way.
Yeah, I think Senna needs to find a way through quick. He's almost tapped the rear wheel on that occasion, trying to set up a cutback through 6.
At the front still, Barry Baltus leads him down through the corkscrew. There's Manuel Gonzalez now on the rear. For the first time has picked up some time on Baltus on that lap. 3.9 now, the gap between Gonzalez and Baltus. Still a long way to go. Still the potential for tyres to drop off a cliff edge, as Onshu a little bit wide, dropping down into turn 12 on that occasion. Ever so slightly.
Yeah, he's not. I'm not sure if he's keeping his powder dry or just not able to ask that little more of his tyres at this stage.
Do you think Aaron Canet there in 4th, just dropping back, do you think he's just giving himself a little bit of breathing room, just a bit of air on his tyres, a little bit of, I don't know.
Perhaps. I don't think so, to be honest. Normally with Canet, he'll stay a little bit closer if he's got the pace, but it just seems to be struggling a little bit at this stage.
Yeah, interesting to see his lap time as they come across here. When they cross the line, there'll be 7 laps to go in the race. So Baltus still leading, as he has for a while now, and again Onshu gets alongside him, gets in front of him on this occasion. Baltus isn't quite hooking up, is he, out of 17?
No, he obviously swings across to the other side of the track as Gonzalez makes it through on Joe Roberts into turn 1.
Yeah, Alonso Lopez is struggling, and I think it's his front end. He's dropped behind Senna Aegis now, and here we go up the hill. Is Gonzalez going to be able to squeeze through as well? Lopez is going backwards.
Gonzalez gets it down to 3.3 seconds off the leader here, but he needs to dispose of Alonso Lopez immediately.
Fastest rider on track, Michael, Diogo Moreira. How many times have we mentioned him in this race? Not many from pole position, but just on a personal best lap, a 150.7, Baltus a 151.2 at the front, and Moreira is coming here as we watch Joe Roberts now looking a bit more like his old self there, just in 8th place behind Manuel Gonzalez. At the front, it's game on. There you can see top left of your screen.
Diogo Moreira's perhaps been boxing clever here just to keep a bit of grip at the end of the race.
So as Manuel Gonzalez sits in 8th place, just behind Alonso Lopez. Roberts in 9th behind. The leaders are coming through turn 15 already. This is 14 and now 15. You see the gap between them. Between Gonzalez and Baltus stands at 3.3 seconds. I think that's come down on this lap because, of course, Onshu has taken over at the front.
I think this lap was a little bit too long behind Alonso Lopez. You can see the gap stretched out to Senna Aegis, and man, he doesn't get it done again. I think he'll be able to turn under him here.
Yeah.
Front tyre, I reckon you're on it with Alonso Lopez, just not able to lean and turn the way he was in the earlier laps.
What do we hear about the Boscos Grow is the understeer issue that they're having with that bike. Heard it a lot more this weekend than we have at a lot of places, not just here in Moto2 but in MotoGP as well.
The gap did go back up 4.1 seconds. Gonzalez is back off of Onshu now.
And Onshu has just set fastest lap of the race. 150.6, a response to Moreira's pace. Excellent from the Turkish youngster, Deniz Onshu. could he go and take his first Grand Prix victory here in Aragon today? 3 times the winner in Moto2. Is he finally going to break his duck in his 2nd season in the intermediate class?
He has looked good throughout the weekend, worked hard on race pace, worked hard on being able to qualify. He put in a new tyre yesterday morning, went on a 3-lap time attack. And in this race, he just kept his... so Yumi Sasaki crashed again. He's having a bit of a nightmare this season. Was down there with Danny Munoz in 18th place in the race.
Not actually too bad in terms of position there with Ortola and Munoz, but yeah, unfortunately, struggling at the moment is Sasaki just to bring the bike home. On board we go with Barry Baltus. Has he got anything to fight back at Dennis Onju here? Joe Roberts has got through on Alonso Lopez. As we head down the straight, you always think Baltus is going to lose out on the straight, and the gap certainly widened to Onju there.
It did. Dennis got off turn 15 good. He's rode this wide line all weekend, pulling it back to the lane apex, keeping on the side of the tyre all the way up to the curbs. He makes it work though.
He really does pull out a huge lead, and again, most of that lap is coming in that last corner. I'm pretty sure of it from Dennis Onju.
Another new lap record, although Baltus set his personal best only a 10th slower than Onju on the last lap, so he's not giving up on this one just yet.
You feel like they have all kept something in check, haven't they? They've had something in their back pocket, knowing, and that's great wherewithal, isn't it, from young riders?
Yeah, and we wondered, had Canet been doing the same? I just don't think he's got it today. His gap is stretched to a 2nd off the rear wheel of Diogo Moreira on that previous lap.
3 21-year-olds at the front of this Moto2 race. Still Moreira sits there in 3rd. There is the more experienced Aaron Canet in 4th place. If it stays like this, he will still just be championship leader, but Gonzalez is approaching. He is trying to close in on Salach. As it stands, actually, he lost ground to Salach on the previous lap. Senna Aegis is past Salach and in 5th place now. So good, big moment there for Marcos Ramirez.
Gonzalez back to 5.2 seconds off the lead. It's not happening today with 4.5 laps remaining, but yeah, solid points nonetheless. I think he's still going to relinquish the championship lead to Aaron Canet as things sit at the moment. Yeah,
he'd get 9 points. And for that, Canet would get 13, and the gap between them is 3, so it'd be a 1-point difference, but Canet on top, if things stayed the same. It's not guaranteed to here, because Aaron Canet could come under pressure soon from Aegis, who was quicker than him on that last lap and is closing a 10th or so in every sector. Onju, again, leads them through 17 and to the finish line. Barry Baltus struggling in that part of the racetrack. He's going to come under pressure. Another new fastest lap of the race, Michael. And it's Diogo Moreira who does it this time. A 150.5.
Looks like Barry's maybe beginning to struggle a little with grip. Moreira sees it, can see that the Turkish rider up front, Dennis Onju, is trying to put a little bit of a gap into the two chasers.
Lovely defensive riding though, wasn't it, there from Moreira? Just trying to make sure he stays ahead in perhaps the stronger part of the racetrack for Baltus. It's given Onju a little bit of breathing room out front. Moreira, who sits 5th in the championship, Baltus sits 4th. Onju sits down in 11th. It would be a turn up for the books. Oh, that's going to get tight. If Onju wins, though, really would, wouldn't it?
Yeah, he's certainly had the belief that he could win in Moto2 since he took his first podium here last year. So first podium 1 year ago, first victory at this venue. Something about the Motorland Aragon suits Dennis Onju's riding style.
Down towards turn 12 for Onju, and then it's Moreira in 2nd, Barry Baltus still in 3rd. Fastest lap of the race on the last lap for Moreira. Is there a way he can close the gap to Onju? Behind Canet, 1.7 now the gap, and Senna Aegis within a 2nd of him. So Canet's going to be fighting to hang on to 4th here, and in doing so hang on to the championship lead. If he loses another spot, Gonzalez will still leave Aragon as the championship leader.
This is impressive from Onju. Look at the gap on the overhead shot. You mentioned about how good he is in this final sector. He has stretched it out another 10th and a bit.
Yeah.
At the 3rd indicator. It's going to be more here as he crosses the line.
Yeah, Moreira Lost 3/10 pretty much to Onchu on that lap, but did have to contend with Barry Baltus riding defensive lines. Now, is he able to impose a little bit more of the pace that he's clearly still got? Whoever wins here, Turkey, Brazil, Belgium, brilliant for the championship. No Spaniard on the podium. I'm not saying I've got an anti-Spanish
no
bias in that, but it's just good for the championship.
It certainly is, yeah, and it just goes to show, obviously, we talked about the development platform. It was the Asia Talent Cup originally for Dennis Onchu before he went to Red Bull Rookie, so he had a little look behind there. And yeah, Diogo Moreira, a very different route to this level.
Yeah, he came through the Spanish system, didn't he, Moreira? He has just taken 3/10 out of Onchu in that first sector alone.
Yeah, when I seen the look back from Dennis Onchu at turn 7, it sort of struck me as he's made a mistake or something's just feeling a little bit off for him. So he wanted to have a look and see what the gap is to Diogo.
Michael, how many times do we see Onchu do that in the Moto3?
That's true, yeah. He was terrible for it at one stage.
Ooh, Senna just had been eating up the ground there, and I think he just got sucked in a bit, didn't he? Down towards turn 12, because Canet has been late on the brakes, and Aegis just losing out. Now, surely the bigger Aegis, oh, with that twitch might help him though, might encourage Aegis here.
Yeah, we'll see if Senna, he's got a fresh motor in this week. It was a fully mileage one that he won on at Silverstone, and yeah, it looks like it's got a few more legs on it.
Yeah, and he's got perhaps a little bit more turning to. Senna Aegis up to 4th place. Excellent return for the Aussie from 13th on the grid. You know, the ride by his teammate has been impressive up to 7th, but this from Aegis from 13th is equally as good.
Yeah, he was frustrated. I think I said 3rd row. He qualified about 5th row. He felt he should have been 3rd row, was about right for him. Oh, that's close between the teammates.
There was a comment from Joe Roberts the other day, I just don't want my teammate to beat me. He was making his feelings felt there, wasn't he? With 2 laps remaining, Roberts back in front of Ramirez and into 8th.
Do they get on, Joe Roberts?
Yeah, yeah, they get on all right, yeah. But who's the first person you want to meet?
Exactly, yeah. The rider with the same equipment, you've got to get your nose in front of him every weekend.
So, Moreira picked up another 10.42 on Onchu in that first sector. Onchu has 2 10s in the last sector. So, you've got to favour Onchu if he leads, or he's close in second on the last lap. It's 1.5 to go. You've got to use every single bit of rubber on your tyres now. Moreira trying to turn tighter through 10 and 11.
Impressive 3 leaders all staying in the 50s here at the end of the race. So they've kept their tyres under them despite running a solid pace, good rhythm, very consistent from all 3 runners. I just don't think Barry's got a gun in this fight. It is going to be a duel between these 2.
And again, Moreira eats up the ground on Onchu in the twistier sections, the turning sections of this racetrack. But then you get to this fast left corner at the end of the back straight, and Onchu will have an extra 10th, but it is neck and neck here. Across the line, the gap was 0.7. It was down to 0.2 coming out of turn 15. And in 1 lap's time, what's the gap going to be? A twitch from Moreira as we come across the line. 1 lap to go in the Grand Prix of Aragon. Onchu versus Moreira. Who's going to win their first Grand Prix in Moto2?
Diogo Moreira, a new lap record on the penultimate lap. On a day when we're saying tyres aren't going to go the distance.
That would have put him 5th on the grid, Michael.
That's impressive. You did say it. He looked like he was keeping his powder dry. Look at him turning up.
Oh, wow, from Diogo Moreira. Almost around the outside. He'll cut to the inside now. The Brazilian takes charge so much stronger in this part of the race. From pole, he's sat there tight throughout, and now Onchu has to figure it out. But Onchu, we have watched him since he's come through from the Asia Talent Cup days. He is a scrapper and will not give this one up without a fight.
You know, both of them like a fight, but Dennis Onchu loves it. He lives for it, and yeah, he'll get creative here on this last lap. The bust-up section for sure at turn 12 is his first opportunity. I
think he's just got to stay with him. He's not got to get ahead of himself and try and conjure up something in the last sector. Moreira in turn has to put out as much of a gap here as he can.
Yeah, Diogo looks like he's got grip as he runs down the hill towards 12. It's going to be important if he gets the jump out of 15. We know how good Dennis is around the last corner, but for me, Diogo's just looking like he's stretching out a little bit of a margin here in this final set of corners.
right, left, and then just 2 long lefts to go. And actually, Onshu's going to get drive here. He set this one up beautifully. Here we go then. Just 2 corners to go. The long, basically a long left-hander, 16 and 17, down to the end of the straight. Onshu is picking up ground. He's closing in all the time on Moreira. Surely no way through from him. He's going to try and round around the outside and fire it to the inside. They're going to be neck and neck across the line here. Here we go. Onshu is coming. He's closing. Is he going to be able to do it? Around the outside, elbow to elbow. It's a dead heat across the line. And I think Onshu has got that by the finest of margins. That was simply incredible.
Wow, wow. Dennis Onshu's rode like that all weekend, wide, keeping it on the side of the tyre, and it pulled him off the victory by 0.03 of a second at the line.
Did I just see that? Did I just see him ride around the outside when Moreira's trying to push him high up onto the curb? And has he just nicked it by the width
loves it.
of a tyre?
Oh, so impressive.
Wow.
Old poor Fuera for Dennis Onshu. Moreira, I've got to say, full credit, what a last 2 laps he rode there. And it just wasn't to be. He went a little bit defensive, but Onshu round the outside.
Look at this, and Moreira all the time just trying to apply the throttle, but Onshu has the run on him. This is where their elbows come together. Onshu is slightly ahead here, but as they touch, look at Moreira then come back at him. They're going to have to go to the video referee for this one. We will have, I'm sure, result. Our timing screen say that Dennis Onshu is the winner of the Aragon Grand Prix. Woo! We are breathless after that one. When we come back, hopefully, we'll be able to confirm that Dennis Onshu is the winner.
Entire cover.